about Granite Bay Golf Course, or at least I saw you liked that post about Granite Bay. We've got to get out and play some golf before Cabo, man. I need to see if I can take some of your money.
There you go. Hey, it's always there for the taking. It's hard to get, but it's there. And Hiram's a golfer too. So anyway,
I don't take the money. I don't take the money. I don't get that lucky.
Hey, it's all in the negotiation of strokes, I guess, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, and Courtney Twist and my lovely bride, Lexi.
Hey, Courtney,
Trevor.
Lexi.
Trevor's here. That's awesome.
Matthew, I was just thinking about you the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen Lexi and Matthew in so long. Well, actually, Lexi, back up. I've seen Lexi on here, but I haven't seen you. So sorry.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
We've been traveling and, EXP's life-changing as we know. We put the effort in, we get rewarded.
I was just thinking, when I was thinking of you guys, that's what I figured was going on.
Yeah. So it's good to see these faces because it has been a while since I've been on. So Julie Gherkin, good to see you. And Mr. Don Yoakum, I love it. And Courtney.
I have a hard time seeing your face with all that beard on there.
I know, right? My wife loves it, and that's what's important. It's like, she loves it. So, hey, it's staying on for now. And Jackie.
Happy wife, happy life.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you had a little milk and a cat, that would come right off.
Right? Yeah.
What?
There's a lot more gray than there probably should be. So anyway, Courtney Twist, how have you been? You've been
I'm so sorry. I thought I was muted. I'm probably just talking up a storm. I'm good. How are you?
He heard everything you said. Oh my gosh.
By the way,
I'm talking to Julie Gherkin right here by me.
Oh, there we go.
We're ready to make calls after this for attraction.
That's what we
it.
do.
By the way, I thought it was interesting. Of course, I was calling you out a lot yesterday on the 1% Club, but then Beryl did too. So what that tells me is that you've got a good Zoom energy.
I do. I like Zoom. Let's bring it. We're going to bring the heat today too.
Zoom is fantastic. Jackie McElvin, come off mute. You're an absolute rock star. I haven't seen you in a while. Give us a quick, tell us something great that's been going on because you got a lot of stuff going on in your.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I tripled my organization in 2025. Yes,
that is okay. So inspire us. So what did you start out and what are you at now?
So I started out at 28 and I'm at 99. Well, I'm at 100. Someone just signed up. So, the power is, you guys, is other leaders doing this. And we're going to have a massive Cabo showing. So the leaders that are coming, thanks to Trevor here, just amazing. So we're just getting started.
Yeah. If you haven't got your Cabo tickets and it's not too late, we just got Hiram a room at the Ziva that popped up. So sometimes people make the booking of a room and life happens. They can't make it. So they're looking for something. So keep pressing. I know Clark Broom is really great at that. All the way to the final day, man. Keep pressing because you just never know what leader or influencer you're going to get there. And sometimes it's not even them necessarily. They get there, but it's who they know in their network. And then, it might be your third level is a beast that you didn't even know. And it's boom, explosion, life change. So pretty awesome. All right, you guys, it's 9:04 going on 9:05. We got people, trickling or whatever, but let's get rocking and rolling. I'm super excited to be hosting the meeting today. It has been a while since I've been on hosting, so it feels good to be back on the chair here. But I have my good buddy Hiram Aviles, who actually has been in real estate longer than me. 1993? No, 94. I graduated high school in 93. So he's been doing it a long time. He'd done like foreclosures and was a REO asset manager selling homes across the country. And then he was killing it with that. And then, obviously foreclosures kind of dwindled down and went away. And he's like, I got to pivot, like my wife says with friends, pivot. Anyway, so I'm not even a Friends follower, but anyway, so he pivoted and got into residential real estate and just killed it with First Team and Keller Williams. And he was rocking with Coldwell Banker, kind of untouchable. I mean, they're doing just under 40 million a year and growing a team and all this stuff. But both Randy Bird and myself had been just plugging in, building relationship and getting to know him for, 5+ almost 6 years. And finally, you know what? He said, hey, we're going to make a change. We're looking. And so we actually, timing was great. Speaking of golf, we met for a little golf and he's like, you guys, I think you guys got a good thing. And anyway, long story short, him and his wife joined us last week. And I said, you know what? You're such a rock star. Can we get you on the meeting and, bring a new voice and just some energy? So that's what we're blessed to do. He's down in Irvine, California. So anybody that's got any referrals or deals, in fact, Don Yoakum teed him up even before he even was officially at EXP with like a 1.6 or something. It was like a beast referral, which is awesome. And so anyway, I'm going to step aside. Hiram, I want you to have as much time as possible to be able to teach and train. You're going to be talking about lead generation, which is the absolute foundation of real estate. If you want to last in real estate, you better learn how to generate leads rather than buy them. And because if you're buying them and they change things, you don't really have a business. But if you've learned how to generate them on your own, you could be transplanted in any city across the nation and start picking up business and rocking and rolling. So, Don, go ahead.
Well, ask Hiram what his peak market share was when he pivoted from REO. He became a geographic marketer.
Yeah,
I think this might even rival Courtney.
Well, thank you, Don, and I appreciate it. And it was a great conversation with you before we joined. And it's nice to meet everybody actually as well. When Matthew asked me to do some training, and I'm not even through onboarding yet, I'm kind of like, wow, okay. But I've got a team, so I've got things set up. But anyway, I had joined foreclosure business, joined Keller Williams. I was with Keller for 16 years. And out of the Irvine office, helped them open that office. And at one point, I didn't want to get into geographic farming. My wife wanted everything to do with it, and I didn't. And I did begrudgingly, and it's paid off tremendously. And at one point, we had 50% of the Northwood market in Irvine, which was great. But it lasted for a short period. It's a hotbed of real estate down here, so you just keep battling. So we teeter somewhere around 20 to 30% of the Northwood market right now. So
wow, that's super strong. So that's
only 20 to 30%. Oh my gosh. We're going to have a pity party here.
I'd rather it be 25 to 35, but that's okay. We're working hard. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining today. And I wanted to go ahead and I can share my screen here.
Should be able to.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, his wife works with him, and she was a top customer service for Delta, I believe it was, down in Southern Cal, like dealing with celebrities and sports stars for Delta. So her level of customer service is like uber high, and she transitioned that into their team. And so they have the ACE, amazing client experience, and she's really the backbone of that. Hiram goes out and hunts and kills and brings home, and then she just loves on him and gets repeat business. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we definitely have different roles. And she joined me about 12 years ago full time and came from Delta. And one of the things she saw in our business was the lack of true customer service, true client holding the hand. And we sat at a lot of tables, and we'd have wives and husbands arguing and crying. They've been here for 27 years. They don't know what to do. And so she says, nobody's serving these people the right way. So she came up with a concierge service that actually has helped us with Northwood, obviously. But she's different part of the business. She kind of works the upfront end, and I come in and kind of just close the deals for the clients. So That's the way it is. But yeah, I'm going to share my screen here real quick, and I'm just kind of going to get into it. I don't want to waste time here, but so that's us, Aviles Real Estate Group. I'm just going to jump in. So one of the things that we work on tremendously with our team, and that I taught to, as a matter of fact, we spoke to a lot of inspiring real estate young professionals at University of California, San Diego 2 weeks ago. And this is exactly what I spoke about. And it's really the lead generation model. So, we're all about systems and models, and we need to plug into systems and models as well wholeheartedly, because that's what runs our business. And I don't know if you're familiar, this is a model that I selected and gathered from somebody that we were affiliated prior to this, actually with Coldwell Banker. But I loved it because it's the essence of really lead generation. And so we call it the lead generation wheel. And the left side of the wheel is the important part, right? That's the individual agent that if you can't do these things properly in our business, it's going to be really difficult to make it in our business. And so, using the models and the systems, we've got to make sure that we get good consistently at number one, touching our SOI and our past clients. Now, I understand there's a lot of agents that don't have a lot of SOI and past clients. You will get there, but touching the people that we know on a regular basis with all sorts of marketing. I'm not going to dive deep today because I don't have the time, but just on the surface level, one of the such important parts of the lead generation model, left side of the wheel, and I'm going to emphasize left side because I'll get into the right side, is dealing with your SOI. So who is your SOI? Growing your SOI. Past clients. How do you get more business from your past clients? Number two is open houses. We find that, I think it was probably down here in Southern California, the number was less than 2% of business came from the buyer came from an open house, probably about, 7, 8, 10 years ago. Now it's closer to 25 to 30% walk into the open house. Somebody will buy it that came into the open house. So it's extremely important that we really focus on not only having the open house, but have a purpose for these open houses. What are you going to get, and how are you going to generate leads from people that walk in? We walk into open houses too many times, and the agents find out we're agents and they just sit down and they don't do anything. They don't have a purpose when they're holding their open house. And then finally, prospecting. This has a lot of arms to it. Farming, cold calls, as I mentioned on the left-hand side here. Networking. I have buyer. You see those a lot out right now. I have a buyer for your property. Please call me. We all know that's a bait and switch for the listing. However, some people do have buyers, but just true prospecting. The left side of this wheel is something we all need to get good at before we can expect, if you are on a team or part of a team, any part of the right wheel. Okay. So any leads that come in from the internet, or let's call it Zillow Flex for people that use Zillow Flex. I know a lot of teams that actually dish out some leads from the internet. But in my opinion, and what we try to emphasize with our agents is, if you don't get good with the left side of the wheel, there's no way you're going to operate the right side of the wheel. Meaning, if I give you a listing lead, for instance, do you know how to talk to them? Do you know your scripts? Do you know what to say? Do you know how to respond? Do you know how to follow up regularly and consistently without giving up? Because if you don't, then why give you leads? You haven't earned them. So the left side is really earning the business. The right side is being given the business because you've already earned it, or I should say earning more business from your team because you've already earned it on your own. You know what to do when you're really prospecting your people, working open houses the right way, and prospecting in different ways. And then the other could be like ISAs, internal sales teams, gathering leads for people. We don't do that. I've never paid for leads, by the way. So I don't really give a lot of leads to people, but I do give listing leads, and I do give listing leads and other leads that I have to agents on the team that earn it and that have done the left side of the wheel very well, and they know what to do. And so 30 years in this business, you get to a point where every year it's like, okay, I got to outdo last year, and I got to produce, and I got to And I love producing, but I'm giving up a lot more leads to the team these days just because time in the business. But if they're not doing the left side of the wheel, they're not getting any leads, and they know that. And so that's what I would suggest, is make sure that everybody just stays on top of just marketing to your sphere, open houses, and making sure that you're prospecting in the right way. Okay. Anybody could interject, by the way, here with any questions, but I'm going to keep on moving. So this is something I also taught on to the school, to the university a couple of weeks ago. Is really, there's so many attributes in our business that make a successful agent, and all of us probably have different attributes, right? Some say communication, whatever that might be. In my opinion, these are the three for me. And the strong work ethic, I think you can realize that it's getting harder in this business as time goes on to really compete. And if you're not willing to work consistently day in and day out, you might be able to treat this as a hobby, but you're certainly not going to build a business in this business, right? So strong work ethic is number one. Number two, people oriented. I can't tell you how many times I actually train even in the offices, and some people are like, yeah, I don't really like to talk to people, or I don't really like to get in front of people. It's just like, I don't candy coat anything, by the way, either. I just tell them, this is just not the business for you. I mean, if you are not a people person, this is not a business for you. You're not going to want to engage with the team. You're not going to want to engage with your clients per se. You have to reach out. So people oriented is number two. And for me, number three, you got to always have a growth mindset. You've got to be growing in this business. There's, again, use a couple stories. There's just people in so many offices, all offices across the spectrum, and they'll tell you, "Oh, you know what? I don't need to go to that training. I've already heard this," or "I don't need to do that. I've heard it once before. It's not me, or that's not for me." Right? Wrong mentality. And we always let our team know, go to as many things as possible. Keep making sure that you are consistent on your schedule, on a productive schedule, but learn more, read more, go to Tom Ferry. I'm a big Tom Ferry person. Go to Tom Ferry more, whether you have to pay for coaching or not. He gives away a lot of free, great stuff. So learn it from him or his people. But these three attributes, I think, are hugely important to be a successful agent today. And so I'll get into the process right now. I like to share this because a lot of people complicate our business. And it is a complicated business, right? It's simple, but it's not a simple business to do. And so people just get inundated with, the next shiny penny and everything else. And the what of this business, or the process, really revolves around 6 areas, in my opinion. So you take your attributes and you apply them to, number one, showing up every day. I mean, you got to show up to play to win every day, and it's not easy in this business. And so you can't play the game if you don't show up. So showing up is number one. Number two, we contact people. Okay, yes, that means reaching out to people, email, text, phone calls. From that, we need to set appointments, because we cannot get business unless we actually have an appointment. Very rare that you call somebody and they say, yes, I want you to sell my house. Very rare. But we got to make sure we're setting appointments and have an appointment goal, right? 3 a week, 4 a week, 3 coffee appointments, whatever it is. And then from those appointments, we get clients and we start working with buyers and we start working with sellers. And that leads to money in our pocket, closings. And then we need to leverage what we just did. So if it's a listing, how are we going to leverage that listing for more listings? How are we going to leverage that listing for more business? If it's a buyer, how are we going to leverage that buyer to introduce us to their people so we can help their friends or their family or their people, right? But this is it. This is the process. It's real simple. Forget about all the other stuff. This is really what we work hard on every day. You showed up, great. I love the gals, sorry, I don't know the names yet, that said they're going to be making phone calls after this. That's what we do. We're supposed to contact people, to set appointments, to get clients, to close business so our bank accounts could get a little bit bigger. And then how do we leverage that for more, right? And in building a business, again, there's people that do this as a hobby, or there's people that do this as, hey, you know what, if I sell 2 or 3 a year, that's fabulous. We can't make it here selling two or three a year. And so we've got to make sure we're building a business. And so this is the process for building a business.
Hey, Hiram, before you switch that back, it's so true. It's so simple, really. It's really easy, but it's so difficult for people to pick up the phone, make the connection, set that daily goal of, appointment a day or two a day or whatever it is. And they will do everything else that makes them feel like they're busy, like they're productive, but they're not productive because this is the foundational stuff. If you're not talking to people in real estate and you're not booking appointments, you're not making things happen. You're pushing paper around. You're doing all the other you're making a cute flyer. Like, it's just not happening though. Right. It's so foundational to have this, as your daily kind of method of operation.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Matthew. Yeah, absolutely. Comfort is a killer. Comfort will kill everything. And we're human beings. We're lazy human beings. That's naturally how we are. We set into comfort. Maybe not everybody on this call, obviously, or with EXP, but certainly we fall into that comfort level, or just don't want to do things, or I'd rather do this because it's easier, right? Nobody wants to set up every day to call and contact people. You have to find a way to get yourself to that point. And showing up is the first thing. And so absolutely. And you know what? The other thing also is, I think people set the bar too high, meaning, you know what? I got to call 25 or 35 or 50 people or whatever that case is. If you're that type of person and you can bang it out, that's awesome. Most people are not. So minimize it, dumb it down a little bit. If I make 10 calls today, that's probably 10 calls more than I did yesterday. And if of those 10, if I talk to 2 people and I set 1 appointment, I've won, right? So you got to minimize it and not so much set the bar so high that you're never going to even try to attempt it. Moving on here is the where and the how of the business, right? So the where and the how is really just our where are we getting business and how are we translating that pillar, I should say, into business. And so these are all, we've all seen these, where can we get business? SOI, past clients, referrals, open houses, farm. There's so many different ways to get business. In my opinion, again, the top 3 that we share with the team is SOI, open houses, and prospecting, right? And prospecting it has a lot of different arms on its own, but if you can do that, leading back to the wheel, I think you're going to nail the left side as an agent in this business. If you are just focusing on how do I build my database with more people that I know, how do I turn those people into appointments, how do I really have a purpose around the open houses? If I'm going to hold an open house this weekend, you're wasting your time if you're just going to sit at the open house hoping time just goes by so that way you can get home, right? Have a purpose. How many getting 1 lead out of each open house is a purpose. How are you going to get that lead? What are you going to ask? What are you going to say? What are your scripts? And it all comes down to being consistent and executing on consistency every day. Whatever your schedule is, it's got to be I'm going to do it 3 days a week. I'm going to do it 2 days a week. I'm going to do it 5 days a week, whatever it is, and just hit it in our business. Again, simple, but not easy to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Hiram, Don Yoakum asked a question since you mentioned open houses here. What have you done to make open houses remarkable?
So we roll out our listings the same way every time. So like, for instance, we put one on the market last week. I put it in the MLS on a Monday. I don't let anybody see it until Wednesday. Wednesday morning is our broker agent preview. All the agents come in the morning. We then have a twilight evening open house to hold the open house in its best light. So we have round cocktail tables, we have flowers, we have food, we have wine, we have beverages, we have music. We make it an event on a Wednesday night. We invite 200 of the closest neighbors, because before that, we're dropping and door knocking with specific flyers saying postcards saying you're invited. Then we have a Saturday, Sunday open house. That's our first week of a listing. And we typically get more eyeballs in the 3 days that we have that house open than we will probably for the whole listing. Yeah. So we really highlight it. A couple other things is I have each seller write down everything they've done to the house, even though they don't think it might be significant. Tell me when you did this for upgrade. Tell me when you did the roof. Tell me when you did the windows. Just give me a year, and then have that on the back. Why do you want to live? Why did you love living here? And you're really not looking forward to move. What did you love about this home? And people love that. So you just got to be different to have conversations and engage with people. We also just put together out in California, the biggest thing was obviously the commission problem. And now we had to find out if they had an agent when they walked in. And if they didn't have an agent, we weren't allowed to talk to them. And you would just tell them, listen.
223 Spring Street.
Russ, please mute.
Have your agent call us. What we've developed is a one-page, give me feedback on curb appeal, rank it 1 to 5, feedback on the floor plan 1 to 5, or the layout, I should say, feedback on upgrades and conditions. So there's 6 or 7 different areas, and then feedback on the price. Is it right? Is it too high, too low? And then give us your information. If you have an agent, awesome. Give me your agent's information or your name. And they're more apt to walk through the house with a clipboard and just kind of give me feedback rather than saying, hey, sign in here. The seller wants you to sign in. I want to gather information. That's the whole goal of the open house, right? You do not want somebody walking in and not getting their name at least. But so we've done a lot of different things, and it's been effective.
Yeah. By the way, your Wednesday evening open house for the neighbors and the promotion around that. So it sounds like you guys door knock to promote that, you mail to promote it. Kind of give us your process for that, if you would.
We don't mail to promote it. We definitely door knock 200 of the closest homes prior to, saying, hey, Wednesday night, this invitation is specifically for you as a neighbor to come on by, enjoy a glass of wine. If you drink, if you don't, we have other beverages, we have food, and just come see what your neighbor has done. The reason we're doing that is because they know people that want to live in their neighborhood. Right. And so I'm not asking them, hey, who do you know that wants to live in the neighborhood? I'm inviting you to an event. You come on by and just share your feedback with us. So I think it's all in the delivery. Also, social media. We're big on social media. So we get a lot of social media posts out in regards to Twilight Open House event. This is the first time people are going to see it, etc. So it's not necessarily only for the neighbors. I let the neighbors know they're exclusively invited. So they feel like it's only for them with the invitation. But I'm marketing it all different ways. And social media is a big way. We blast 1,000 to 1,500 of the closest agents as well on an email blast. This is the schedule. And so, yeah, that's really it. Just door knocking, handing it out, social media, and email blast to agents.
Real quick, Hiram, do your signs have your own branding? Because it sounds like your whole goal is to get the mind share of that community. And if it's a geographic farm that you work, sounds like you really just want to gain the mind share of all of the sellers.
100%. We've been working hard on our brand for about 12 years now. So if you could see the right side corner bottom, that's our logo. We put that everywhere. And then obviously I added the XP to it. But the funny thing about that is one of the reasons I left, there's several reasons. One of the reasons I came to AXP, of course, is Matthew. But the second reason is people didn't even know I was with Coldwell Banker. People probably won't even know I'm with EXP because of my branding, right? And so gold, black, those are our colors. Everything that goes out is gold, black with the circle A. That's kind of our branding. And so, yes, correct. We are trying to establish a brand in the neighborhood that if you have any questions, give us a call. It doesn't happen all the time, obviously, but that's what we're trying to do. Okay, I'll open it up for questions, but this is me and my wife. So Diane's her name, and you can see us on social, her at Diane Aviles, myself at Hiram Aviles. We've been in the business 30 years, 800, closing in on $1 billion of sales volume and over 1,000 transactions closed nationwide. I did a lot of foreclosures, as Matthew mentioned before. So I was big in the REO business for a little while. So that's it. I think I'm done.
Well, yeah, we'll open it up for questions. You got just a wealth of information here, you guys. So don't miss out on the opportunity. Guy doing over, getting close to or over $1 billion of sales. There's some success experience that you can tap into here. So
What about Hiram? How many people do you have generally show up at a Wednesday open house?
At a Wednesday open house, we generally have anywhere from, so we do it for 3 hours, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. every time. We generally have about 25 to 70. I mean, it just depends on the time of year. This last week, we had 47 people show up.
Wow.
Wednesday evening. But sometimes it's been slower. So yeah.
And you said you invite the local agents as well. How many of those are agents that came?
A lot of so specifically in our neighborhood, in our areas that we've got the good market share with, people love coming to our events because it's food, it's wine. They love talking, they love hanging out. So it's funny, you see the same agents at the Wednesday night twilights, but you're probably on the general, we're probably 3 to 5 agents. What we're finding is, I don't know if you guys are finding it, but agents are just not getting out to show property like they used to. It's very interesting. I think the whole commission dynamics changed that world of, oh, I don't need to go with my agent now, so they're not, some of them have agents, but some of them are like, oh, we don't have an agent. No, because the mindset of I can work with a listing agent and it's better, we got to overcome that as buyer's agents, but so we're typically getting about 3 to 5 at each open house for agents.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, Hiram, when I was doing open houses and so on, I'd always have the mindset of wanting to pick up a seller. I know most people are like, oh, yeah, I'm picking up buyers, right? But with how you're doing it, inviting the neighbors in the neighborhood, you're going to get those that are looking through to see what they've done, improvements on the house, how it compares to their house, what's the price they're asking, because they're thinking it's on either the back of their radar or they're talking about it at dinner. Maybe we'll sell next year or 6 months or whatever it is. And so if you can really have that very classy display that you're doing with the food and the wine and the connection, it speaks volumes. And then what I would do is I'd even set up a little display that was more of what we did on the listing side of things, almost like a pre-marketing, kind of like, when I go on a listing appointment, I would talk about our marketing. I would set it up as such on the open houses to where the buyers that come in, they go, oh, what's this? Like just sold postcards and all that stuff. It builds the confirmation in their minds, like, wow, this team's rocking. This guy's selling. This gal just knows what she's doing. Yeah. And they would look at some of these past sales with the full color postcards and kind of displayed out. I put 9, 10, 12 of them. And then my marketing book so they could look through. And it was so effective on picking up listings. And then, you put them in your CRM, your client retention management software, and stay on them. Gosh, all of a sudden, when they're ready, they're thinking of you.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Matthew. I'm guilty of that as well. I look for sellers almost too much, and my lenders that I work with are a little upset at me. But that's the way I'm trained. And I always know that we are on display. So you got to be careful. If you get lazy with somebody walking in, that could be your next seller. Yeah. So you got to always be on, and they do. They come out to check you out. They come out to say, what are they doing and what are they serving? And they can care less about what the house looks like. They're trying to figure out you, right? How are you trying to sell the seller's house? I've been in many open houses where they don't even try to sell the house. They just say, welcome, here's a flyer. And 4 bedrooms and let us know what you think, rather than saying, oh, let me tell you why you'll love this house. Make sure you notice upstairs this and that and the other. So you're always on display. And I'm always thinking of that as well. When people walk in, the first question I always say is, where are you coming in from? And if they say, oh, we live in the neighborhood. Oh, really? What street? I feel like I'm stalking them sometimes, but because I know streets rather than people. And, I want to know so that way I can send them a card when I'm done and look their information up on Realist, however, get their names and send them something. But I'm always looking for sellers. I got to get better for looking for buyers. But
do you do a handwritten note? Thank you for coming to the open house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We send cards.
Oh, yeah.
We have cards. Handwritten notes are golden. I know with the younger generation, they don't like to do that, but that's okay. That's a leg up we have on them. But I think they go a long way.
Another trick, you guys, on the open house, if you have a nice property video and you put yourself in the property video, if you want to get an idea of kind of fun stuff, you could go onto Matthew Stewart Real Estate YouTube channel and our latest property video on there. Lexi and I did it together and kind of tag team, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's such a funny video. We loved it." Yeah. You can use that as leverage when they come into the open house. You go, "Hey, did you see the full detailed property video that we put together on this property?" And they're like, "Oh no, I didn't have it." "Oh man, you got to see it. Here, let me text it to you. Yeah. It's on YouTube. I'll give you the link and you can watch it." Because if you're looking at a bunch of homes today, they start to blend together, right? And you kind of shake your head and they're like, "That's true." And I go, "Yeah." So this way it'll help refresh your memory. When you're talking about it over dinner tonight, you can just kind of pull up and that way you get their cell phone, right? Yeah. And another thing in regards to sellers coming in, Lexi had an open house last weekend, I believe it was, or weekend before. She had 30 people through on a Saturday. You don't know who's who and so on. I think, Lex, come off mute. Was it like a Monday or Tuesday after that you got an email that says, "Hey, we were really impressed with, we'd like you to come over to our house and kind of tell us what we could do to get it ready," and right?
Yeah. In fact, it was 30 groups through. So there's probably over 60 plus people that came through. Yeah. I was doing my follow up after the open house on that Monday afterwards. And I got an email back immediately from one of the people who came through saying, "Hey, we were super impressed with you and, just your personality and how you handled the open house, that we'd love for you to come take a look at our house and tell us what we need to do to get it ready to sell." So
that's great.
And she also door knocked the neighborhood, and they didn't even know that she lived in the neighborhood. So that even sold it more when they learned that. They're like, "Wait, oh gosh, okay, even more." So it works. Yeah. It works. Any other questions? Let's see. Oh, Don says, "Does the lender come to the open house and support your open house?"
Sometimes. So yeah, sometimes, not always. They're somewhat busy. If they're busy, they're not coming that often, which is really good. But yeah, sometimes they do. I have financing sheets made up for 3 different scenarios with my lender, and especially today's day and age where prices are so high and payments are so high. I kind of share that with them. She's there sometimes, or he's there. I got 2. They're there sometimes.
One of the things that Don Yoakum's done and taught, which I thought was brilliant, is you can tap into that lender and have them contribute, a couple $100, $250, $300 for a really nice dinner or something along those lines, and have it be a drawing either for that open house or have it cumulative for the whole month. Right. And that way it helps get proper information, because if you win, I got to be able to get a hold of you to give you the gift card, for the nice dinner. Right, Don?
Great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was on mute. But yeah, that has worked really, really well, especially when you're doing the things that Hiram is doing to get all those people there. No substitute for that, for sure. But yeah, it proved to be the drawing. And as Matthew said, we would do a local fine restaurant, usually for $200 gift certificate. Mm-hmm. And it would be the lender's branch would buy it, and they would make it available to us. But also the other loan officers in the branch got to use it with their realtors as well. But the funny thing is, so few people actually work. You're usually one of the few people that are doing it, but we would get anywhere from 80 to 90% of the people. And we did just like you're talking about, Hiram, is we would give them a clipboard and we had a survey and we asked them to rate the property, right? And so it was, if you would be so kind to give us some feedback on the property, we have a little questionnaire, and also it will enter you in this drawing for a $200 gift certificate at McCooney's or, whatever your really fun local restaurant is. And for the lender, they're getting to spread that among, let's say, 5 loan officers and 50 agents. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it did not affect our ability to get people like, what are the odds of this anyway? Well, they're betting the lottery. I can tell you that.
So a couple of things that I really, really appreciate, Hiram, is you make it an event. I mean, so many agents will just kind of schedule an open house. They'll show up last minute, throw some signs out there. go in the house and turn on the football game, right? Make it an event. It's what you do before the open house and after the open house. And I love the fact that you use an open house as a listing opportunity. 50% of the people that come into an open house, they have a home to sell.
Yep.
So the very first question I always ask is, oh, great. Do you have to sell a home before you buy a home? And one other thing that you said that I wrote down, and that is to get a feedback form, whether it's from an agent or the client coming through. I've used that in the past for a price reduction because, of course, I've shared with the seller, pounded and pounded on the price reduction. But as soon as I took a photo, there were 8 agents that came through on a tour. I took a photo of their feedback. Bam, they saw that, they dropped the price. So This is awesome. Good stuff, Hiram. Thanks.
So good, Tom. I love it.
Yep. The other hard part, real quick, of the open house is every Monday morning, you got to give them a follow-up email, the seller. So, and I have a generic kind of way I distribute it. I obviously see what the online views are. So what is Zillow saying? What is Redfin saying? I put that together in a section called online views. I say we had 50 groups or 15 groups, 50 people through. And these are some of the names. I don't go through everything because it's really difficult, but I also share the feedback with them. Very important because I'm thinking the same way. If I have to have a conversation with them, if they wanted to list a 2 million and I says, no, we can't be in that area. You got to be a 1.8 and we end up listing close to 2. I want to be able to utilize the feedback to get to that point to say, listen, not so much I was right, but this is what the buyers are thinking, not me. And so that's tremendous. But every Monday morning, you've got to follow up with them. Not on Sunday. Typically, I wait for the open house Saturday, Sunday, and then I'll give them an update Monday morning saying, this is how many people came through. This is how many agents came through. This is the feedback. This is the online views. We're still marketing it. Next week, we're just keep them engaged. I think what happens when people fail of getting more business is that they're not communicating right. They're not, and you don't want to be the person where the seller calls first versus I contact them first. And that was a hard thing for me to get over because it's hard to stay on top of that. So you got to make sure you're reaching out to them. That's what they want.
Yeah, communication is one of the number one issues for expired listings and so on. Hey, what was it? Why do you think it didn't sell? They either think that they didn't know, they signed up with the realtor and she was gone. It was great presentation, dressed to the nines, and then I never heard from her or saw her again. So I have no idea what she was doing for her money, right? And that ties into the communication thing. So one of the things that if you're not already doing that you might want to do is at your initial meeting with your seller is you let them know how you work and what your communication schedule is and what is it that they prefer the most in regards to communication. Because some people do text and they don't check email, or they love email, they hate text, and so find that out from each one of your clients. It's super important and it's honoring to them. And then you say, hey, you know what? This is how we work every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday, every whatever the day is that you pick. We do a blank communication, email, text, or whatever. And we'll give you an update of what we did for you that week and then what the response of the market has been, both from buyers and sellers, because we survey all of them and so on. They absolutely love that. And it puts you in that position of leadership. And they go, yeah, we really hired the right gal for us to get this, because they want to know what's going on and they want communication from their agent.
I'm just going to throw one more thing in. The goal of an open house. What's the goal of an open house? To book an appointment. So many agents say, get names and numbers. That's BS. Book one rock solid appointment. That's your goal. Every single open house. And if you have a lot of people coming in like Lexi does, don't have ADHD like me and try and see everybody, lock in with one person, connect with them, book that buyer strategy session. It's not a buyer consultation. Hey, let's sit down and have a strategy. Find you that home. Anyway, I'm done on my end. Thanks so much, Hiram. Thanks, Matthew.
I love it. This has been awesome. Hiram, anything else you want to add before we?
Hey, I want to ask, by the way, you guys, I want you to notice that Hiram's putting down 25 plus signs. He's my hero. What I tell people, Hiram, is that with all the tech and everything in our society, the people perceive the market leader as the one with the most signs in the neighborhood. And when you put out 25 branded signs, it's like you're taking over the place, right? Do you pay somebody to put those out, or do you or someone on your team do it?
So regarding signs here in Irvine specifically, it's getting out of control because there's actually a lot of agents that are putting up signs for the sake of putting up signs. They don't even lead to an open house. And so that a couple of them are being kind of investigated right now, quite frankly. But
wow.
Yeah, I put them up. I don't pay somebody. I should, but no, I get out early Saturday morning, a cup of coffee, and I just go put up 25, 30 signs. It's great if I have 2 or 3 open houses with team holding it open, then I just put up signs leading to all of them, which is great. And that's more than 25 to 30. But I agree 100%, and get them out early too. In Irvine, we can have them out at 7 a.m. I get them out at 7 a.m., so people see them all day. And, it's so important with the signs. Conversely, I've seen open houses with literally a sign in front of the house and one sign at one corner and the other, and that's it. And that's mind-boggling to me. But that's what it is. Yeah, there's services you can pay out there for that.
Yeah, but it's awesome you're doing it, and it sounds like it's kind of an activity, for you, exercise-wise too, which is great. But your time is valuable, obviously. To put 25 signs out, in my experience, can take about an hour and a half. So it's no small deal, depending on the neighborhood and so forth. But you guys, if you're wondering, of course, if you are an icon, then you do the hard work. But if you're wondering, well, how is Hiram doing icon level production and I'm not? Well, are you doing 3 open houses the first week of your open house? Are you putting 25 signs up? Are you getting 47 people to your open house? Are you door knocking 200 homes to promote the open house? Well, that might explain the difference in your guys' production. So it's not rocket science.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'll leave you with this, and I know we got time constraint, but the lead generation wheel. Okay. I only do the first week, by the way. I'm going to be honest here. I don't like to do every open house because, we got longer days on the market now, right? I mean, before things would sell in 2 days, and now they're taking, 45 days to sell. So that means quite a few open houses that you got to have. I give the rest of the team. I have team members hold open houses because I just want to enjoy my weekends, but I do the first week of open houses myself at the property. I also prepare the seller, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller. We do have a team, and we will have the team here Thursday night or Wednesday night, getting to know your home. So that way, when they do hold your house open, they know how to sell your home. Because that's the fear of having somebody hold an open house. The seller's thinking, well, they don't really know my house and they're not really going to sell it. So you got to get those standards out up front on the listing appointment. But after that, if an agent has earned a reason to hold open houses by them doing what they're supposed to do, they will get open houses to hold, period. And I even have open house trainings with some of the agents because I want to make sure it's held the same way. I got to get the open house follow up to my seller, not my team member, me. So I need to make sure they use the same template, that they're looking for the same things. They're asking for the same things. So on Sunday night, they send me the follow-up and I just copy and paste and send it to my seller Monday morning. Right. So, yeah, a lot to be said about open houses. I wasn't a fan of open houses. I kind of still am not, but you got to do them because it gets you more business. I had a team member saying, we went through her business plan, and I says, okay, so what are one of the pillars you're going to focus on this year? And one of them was not open houses. It was not open houses, but she closed 4 from open houses last year. And I'm like, why don't you double down on that and make that? You're obviously good. You're doing the right things. Hold more open houses. And so I think they're a crucial part of the business. No question. And I think sellers deserve it. Number one, they're paying us a lot of money to sell their home. And number two, they're expecting it. They're expecting for you to expose their property. Even though they say, I don't really want open houses, you got to find a way to work that into your presentation.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, Hiram, thank you so much. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. What an amazing blessing to have you and Diane over here. Our tagline at EXP is where the pros go to grow. And just every day we keep adding more pros. And it's just, I love it so much. Got some absolute rock stars here. Hey, you can find this recording on our Facebook group, Don Yoakum. It's Atomic Habits by EXP. Is that right? Facebook group.
By EXP.
What is it? Powered by EXP. So look for that group on Facebook. Make sure you join that. And Eric, if you're still listening, make sure we go back, or whoever's in charge of that, because Heather Brooks said she's been wanting to be added and it's been pending for a while. So let's make sure she's added. Also, you can find the recording on my YouTube channel, and there's other places as well. But Matthew Stewart Real Estate, just search that on YouTube. And hey, as Tom, I don't know if Tom's still Tom. Let's hear it, buddy.
All right.
Let's hear it, buddy.
Thank you so much. Now, everybody, we all got our inspiration. Time to put into perspiration. Thanks, guys. Let's go.
All right, you guys. See you in Cabo. It's not too late. Get your tickets, people. Life happens. They got tickets to sell, rooms. We just got Hiram a room. So if you want to have some one-on-one time with Hiram, come to Cabo.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.